And I sit down at my first opponent, and he looks at me, and he goes, "I've got to play you." And I'm like, "Yeah, man, I'm your opponent." And he goes, "I watch your videos." And I was like, he's like, "I'm playing your deck." And I was like, "Oh, what deck is it?" He's like, "The Kazuda deck." And I'm like, "Well, that's like one of the last decks I ever wanted to see today."
Hello and welcome back to Cast of the Whills. I'm your host Will, and with us today is my very first Star Wars content creator, MoTheMonster, the GOAT. Mo, I appreciate so much you being on here. I know it's been a bit of a challenge figuring out time zones and all that, but I'm really looking forward to this. So for those of you that somehow don't know who Mo is, he does a lot of Star Wars Unlimited content, and what's great about his content, it isn't just focusing on the gameplay aspect, which is obviously important, but also a little bit on the trading card aspect, which, surprise, surprise, trading card game, who would have thought? So, welcome, Mo, to the podcast, and thank you for being the first guest on it. I know I've tried getting a few guests on already, and maybe because it's a new podcast, it's a bit hard to find people, so I really appreciate you taking that leap of faith and taking the risk of coming on here.
Well, yeah, so, I mean, thank you for having me. I'm just gonna say, like, I just like talking about the game with anybody, and
Awesome.
honestly, just the the chance to just sit here and talk with somebody about the game, like, what could be better than that, honestly? So, thank you for having me on. It's just, I'm just here to have fun.
Awesome. And I've got to say at the gate, something I really appreciate about your content is I've watched a few Star Wars Unlimited YouTubers, and I feel like a lot of them are made for people that have played a lot of TCGs or are fully into the competitive side. And this is my first TCG. I only started playing it maybe 2 months ago. So I'm still pretty new
Wow.
to TCGs. I played 2 games of Magic last year, but this is my first time really getting into deck building and synergies and all that fun stuff. And what I love about your content is you do a lot of beginner content as well. But whenever you do more advanced stuff, you still translate it in a way that beginners can understand it and apply it. So I found your content's been great to kind of bridge that gap for me to, like, I don't know if I'll ever do competitive or whatever, but it's just like, maybe I understand like you did a video about the most insane like card interactions. And I thought if I didn't have your video out of, like, for example, as Cobb Vanth, and I was like, there's no way I would understand how his abilities work. And that was great about your videos is you did the beginner stuff, but you did the advanced stuff. But I feel like it was communicate in such a good way that a beginner could understand it.
Yeah, and that's a big part of it is so I've played a bunch of card games in the past. Mostly digital, actually. So
Oh, okay.
like, I've played a lot of Hearthstone, a lot of Legends of Runeterra. That's kind of where I like started playing cards. And in those games, right, it is a programmed interaction. So like, if you play a card, it's going to always be properly played,
Okay. Yeah.
right? Because it is programmed to be what it is. In physical card games, it's not that way. And I'm in the judge program, and I've noticed, like, you get a lot of, like, if you're just playing with casual people, right? You'll play something that you know works, and they're going to be like, well, why does that work? Like, it's not only about you have to know why an interaction works, but it's really good to know how it works, to be able to explain it to an opponent.
Yeah.
And I've had that happen multiple times, and there's an art form of explaining it to somebody without also coming off as like condescending or like like rule sharky, right? Because there are times where you go, no, I know it works this way, and they're gonna be like, well, that doesn't feel right. But one of my biggest things is, so I have 3 friends, like actual IRL real friends, that actually got me into the game. This is their first card game too, or like their first like real competitive TCG, and they're not as into it as me.
Yeah.
So there were a lot of times where, like, I'll see something and I'll be explaining it to them, and they come back with, but why does it work that way? How does it work that way? So that's kind of how I got to the point where I could be like, as you said, right? You can give it to you and, like, explain it like I'm 5. Also, my cat will be tail whipping me the entire call.
Of course. More than welcome to be on the call.
Yeah. There's a art form to explain it to me like I'm 5, but also don't talk to me like I'm a child.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I'm trying to balance is,
Yeah.
it's informative, but also like you can learn something from it.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I'm coming from.
Yeah. I do. Well, you're doing a very good job of it, because I noticed one example of that was in your Discord channel. You have a No Dumbs Questions channel, which I think is appreciated because when I first got into this game, I had a friend who had played some other TCGs, and she said sometimes the people there, they get a bit, like you said, rule sharky, or they like to explain things, and then I can say as a Star Wars fan, sometimes Star Wars fans are like double that. So you cross over Star Wars fans with TCG fans. And thankfully, I haven't encountered anyone like that or it's ruined the experience. So I found so far the community in Star Wars Unlimited has been great. I don't know if that's just by chance, but I've definitely noticed in your Discord channel and the No Dumb Questions, that's been great for, like, it sounds horrible for me to say, but I've seen some questions in there. I was like, I know this. I thought this was easy. But the point of it is you can ask those super simple questions and people don't answer. They explain like I'm five, but they don't talk down to you. And that's what I really appreciate. And I would say, obviously, you have a big degree of influence over that because it's your Discord, but also the people in it, obviously, they're the ones sending the messages, so they're communicating it's a really good fostering community vibe in that channel, I've noticed.
Yeah, so I'm not a school teacher or anything, but I do mentor. So I don't know if it's a worldwide thing or if it's just an America thing, but there's a thing called First Robotics. And I'm not sure if you're familiar with that, but essentially it's a high school program, I think high school and lower. And it's for kids to come and learn, and people who do robotics, so I'm an engineer that does robotics. They bring mentors in, and you explain to these kids like how you like the engineering process and all that. And essentially what I have learned from that process is there's a lot of questions that people are scared to ask because they feel like they should know it already.
Okay, yeah.
And if you give somebody if you go up and you sit somebody down and they go, well, I just didn't understand that and I was too scared because everybody else around me feels like they know this interaction, right? So if you go in Star Wars Unlimited and let's just say there's an interaction, like you mentioned Cobb Vanth, right? Like let's just say that's an interaction that everybody in the game knows. But a new player comes in and everybody's talking about like, oh yeah, this is good. This is Cobb Vanth is great. This and that. Yeah. And they're just like, well, I don't know why. And everybody seems to know why. So I don't want to out myself as somebody who doesn't know anything. So that space was just set up. I was like, you know what? This seems like a really good opportunity for new players to come in and just any question in the game that they have, they can ask. And what's funny is I never made like an announcement to people like, hey guys, make sure in the No Dumbs Questions, like just be respectful. It just like kind of naturally occurred. Like people are like, oh yeah. And what's the coolest thing is I will see questions posted there and I don't need to answer them anymore because I have like a group of people that just love to answer the questions there. So just fostering that for new players is a big deal because it makes them feel welcomed and it makes them feel like they can engage in the community.
Yeah, definitely. In my the local shop I go to, there's this one guy, Oscar, and he's very inclusive. He's very generous, and he's really trying to get people to stay around. Like he's giving a lot of cards away to people without asking anything in return. He just says, "Please come back next week." And he's a really great example of, once again, the positivity within the community. Because another thing with my channel is I like to focus on the Star Wars community and the positive aspects. And I think, surprisingly, I wouldn't have thought this before I started playing the game, but Star Wars Unlimited has been a really great niche in the Star Wars community of really kind, generous, positive people. I can't say I've had a negative experience. I don't want to jinx that and, tonight go to my event and be like, this is a horrible person. But I've noticed everyone's I guess it's maybe because TCGs, people want to keep it alive. And they know they keep it alive if they involve people in the community and they bring people up with them.
So to a degree, I agree with you. I'm not going to put everybody on blast, but there are a few people in the community that I feel like are, and I'm in a kind of a unique position. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. So if you disagree with me, just push back.
Yeah, please.
There's a couple people that I think are taking the community a little bit for granted. And like forcing a bunch of paywalls for what I don't believe is like worth it.
Okay.
Like it felt like a bunch of the bigger content creators immediately put up paywalls on a lot of their content. And so as a newer card game, I feel like that is like not that great for a community, like you said, right, where we're trying to keep the game alive. I made it my mission to make sure I will never paywall anything that I ever do because I want a newer player. Like if somebody started, like there are so many people that come into my Discord or interact with me on my channel that go, I just started last week. Your videos are great. The Discord is great.
Yeah.
Thank you for setting up this community, right? Like I've gotten that more than like I thought I ever would, right?
Wow, that's great to hear. Yeah.
So I think I agree with you somewhat. Like there's a lot of good communities out there, and I know I live in the Baltimore, DC, Maryland, DC, Virginia area, and I feel like we're lucky. Like everybody in my area is just like the nicest people. Like you go to an event, like a competitive event, everybody knows each other, everybody's talking to each other, everybody's like smiling and happy, even if you get beat. But it's like, oh yeah, it was still a good time. And like I do feel like the community is actually pretty good. There's a couple outliers, but all in all, like 95% of the community is like absolutely some of the most fantastic people that I've ever met.
Yeah.
And I've already made lifelong friendships from the 2 and a half, 2 years that this game has been around.
Oh, that's great to hear. So I feel like we've already gone on quite a bit. Usually at the beginning, I like to do like a speed fire rapid question to get to know the guest. The audience has probably gotten to know you a bit, but we'll still do the rapid fire.
Sure.
So the first question, favorite Star Wars movie?
Empire Strikes Back, and it's not even close.
Damn, okay, all right.
It's not even close.
Maybe we'll park that one to the side then. Favorite character?
All right, so favorite character would have probably been Darth Vader in the past. Recently, after the new Andor season, it's probably Luthen.
Fair. Luthen was great. Yeah. Have you ever built a bit of a deck around you using Luthen just because you like him, or are you just like that locked into the stats? You're like, I'm not going to care about the characters.
I have no. So I've definitely made decks revolving around characters, especially Twin Sons decks.
Yeah.
A lot of Twin Sons decks you can get away with like, I just want this character to work. Like I made an episode 3 deck where it was Palpatine, Anakin, clones, Vader. It was awesome. So like I definitely do that. It's fantastic.
And the last question is, what is your favorite piece of Star Wars music?
The Imperial March.
Fair. That's
100%
a classic.
the Imperial
you cannot
March.
go wrong with that. So you're a bit of a Vader fan. Empire Strikes Back. Vader was your favorite character, and then Imperial March. That's great. So our first sort of question. Obviously, we're going to talk about Unlimited today, but is there another aspect of Star Wars you're into? Like, I'm quite into the music. I know some people are into video games, comics, books, all those things. Is there something else into Star Wars that you really appreciate?
So, I'm a big Star Wars movie fan. I'm a huge Star Wars video game fan. Yep. Like, I grew up playing Star Wars video games like crazy, and my favorite game of all time is Empire at War.
Oh,
I don't know.
I have that shirt. I should have worn that. Damn.
Do you? Oh my God, that's amazing. So Empire at War is like one of my favorite games of all time. I still play it on Steam, and there's rumors of Total War making a game from Star Wars, and so like I am like refreshing that weekly. Like, has there been any news whatsoever? Please give me any amount of news for that game.
That's fair.
And then, oh sorry, go ahead.
No, I saw recently, I was like, what happened to Star Wars Eclipse? I don't know if you remember that trailer that came out years ago. So I was looking into that, talking about like Star Wars games that are coming out. And that was when I was like, I'm really looking forward to that game. They haven't said anything since like 2021 or 2. Like, it's been a while since that first trailer dropped, but please, you were going to say.
Oh, yeah. Well, I was going to say, so my fiance loves the orchestra, loves it. And we have the Baltimore Symphony Orchestra. They did a John Williams night a couple months ago. So we went and they played Star Wars music and all that. So I do love the music. I would love to see John Williams live, but it might be a little late for that. He's you know,
93
very sporadically. Yeah.
I mean, he wrote a symphony a few months ago, so he's still working. He isn't retired. Yeah.
It's insane to me. Yeah. I love the music. The music is just so iconic, and music and video games are some of my favorite Star Wars media.
Yeah. And so did you get into this? Did you get into Star Wars Unlimited? Was it because it was Star Wars, or was it a trading card game with new mechanics, or like what got you into the game?
So I had recently just quit Hearthstone, and a coworker of mine was in like a training, and it was right around when Star Wars was coming out, so he was like showing another coworker all the cards.
Yeah.
And then we went to the game store, which is by my like 5 minutes from my house. To go pick up something else. They had it on demo, and he was like, "Oh, come play this." So we played it. We bought a box, and we split it, and we were like playing with it. And then they were like, "Yeah, Tuesdays are your local nights. Come in on Tuesdays." And I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, I'll come in and play." and then that's just kind of how it happened. I've been playing and loving ever since. It just like so happened I was quitting a card game. I love card games, and yeah.
What is like the process of quitting a card game? Like, what does that look? Do you say like I'm done, putting the tools down? That's it.
Yeah, most for me at least, the times I've quit, it's just been you play it. It's not been fun. New expansion comes out, new set comes out. You play it. It wasn't what you thought. It wasn't as fun. And typically for me, like I played Hearthstone for, gosh, maybe like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
And you started just realizing that you're not having nearly as much fun. And then you're just like, well, why am I doing this when I could just do something else? So I just stopped. Like new expansion came out. I didn't like the last 2, and I was like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. That's good to hear. So is there, and we talked a bit about your Discord and all that stuff, is there a particular fan or subscriber interaction that you remember or think about?
So there's a couple, but I'll tell you the first one that felt, it made me feel, I don't want to say weird, but like it felt different because I'm still a small YouTuber, right? I'm nowhere near the big guys, but I do feel like my channel does as well as the big guys, but like I don't feel like I'm one of the big guys. So I was in the Denver sector for last set last set.
Yeah.
And I sit down at my first opponent and he looks at me and he goes, "I've got to play you." And I'm like, "Yeah, man, I'm your opponent." And he goes, "I watch your videos." And I was like, he's like, "I'm playing your deck." And I was like, "Oh, what deck is it?" He's like, "The Kazuda deck." And I'm like, "Well, that's like one of the last decks I ever wanted to see today because I'm playing a control deck. So we'll see how it goes."
So funny.
But the whole game was awesome. Like we actually went to time because we were talking and having like a great time back and forth.
That's really good.
Yeah, and it was one of the best interactions I've ever had with somebody. And it was weird because it was the first time somebody ever noticed me from my YouTube channel. And that feeling is just weird. I don't know if that's happened to you yet, but it just like when you go to a tournament and somebody goes, "I've seen your YouTube channel. Are you a YouTuber?" And you go, "Yeah, I am." And they're like, "I've watched your videos." Luckily, all of them have been like, your videos are great, informative. Nobody's outside of comments have ever been like, "I hate you, you're trash." So all been positive, but that was the first moment that I was like, maybe my content actually isn't terrible. Maybe people actually do enjoy it.
Yeah. Talk about, I feel like something for me, I've only kind of really just started. Like I'm doing a lot of short form content as well, like pack opening. And I recently did one and someone commented overpriced cardboard inflated prices. And like, obviously it wasn't directed at me, it was directed at the game, but you talk about sometimes getting negative comments. When you know you have a positive community that likes your content, but you get one piece of negative feedback, how do you make sure you don't focus on that negative piece of feedback?
Okay, well, I'll tell you. I'll give you a little bit of insight because I'm not one to hide anything that I do. So I have I have a pretty positive community, and that's been thankful for me. But I had an interaction. And I leave it up. I don't block anything. I'm not removing anything unless somebody gets like really too bad.
Yeah.
But I won't tell you what video is on. So if anybody who sees this wants to see this interaction, it's on. It's in one of my videos.
Okay. Yeah.
But I had a guy come to my comments and was just lighting me up for one of my, like, I basically thought Third Sister was going to be really, really strong. I still think she's really strong. And he came and he was just lighting me up for it. He was like, "You're trash. Your takes are trash." And he said, "You need to talk to the top players before you go spouting off your opinions." And I was like, "Okay, man, like top players were actually wrong about something I was right about." So like I said, I pay for the KTOD Discord just like you. I'll happily see you in there, man. Like, have a great day. He then came to my Discord and tried to spread negativity. And what was really weird to me was, not weird, but like my community basically said like, "Bro, what are you doing?" Like,
that's good. That's great. Yeah.
It's 4:00. Like, nobody, like, it's a work day. Like, what are you doing? And then he leaves. And then he comes back to my YouTube channel a day later to spread more negativity. And essentially everybody saw it and messaged me and they're like, can you believe this, dude? Like, it's essentially, you don't, we do, in my Discord, I actually do focus on it a little bit as like, I'll take a screenshot of a comment that is obviously being like childish or rude.
Yep.
And I'll post it into like more of like my members channel.
Yep.
And I'll be like, can you guys believe that this was just said? And a lot of times they go, man, I just don't get where some of these people come up with some of their takes, right? So it's like, I don't spread it to like the majority of the community because I don't feel like I want to promote that. But there are times where you just have to like take a negative comment, show it to somebody. I even show it to my coworkers sometimes.
Yeah.
And just be like, is this like a terrible comment, or am I just overreacting?
Yeah.
But I almost never engage. I think some of the issues content creators have. I don't know if you watch many content creators, but I know a couple people really focus on the negative comments.
Yeah.
And like you'll see somebody post a mean comment, and they'll go in the comments and be like, "Why are you personally attacking me? You shouldn't." And it's like, don't give trolls that ammunition. Just ignore that. Yeah. Just kill them with killing a mean commenter with kind. So like the person who commented, right? Crap with its overpriced cardboard. I've had similar comments on my pack opening videos, and I'll be like, yeah, man, that's why I typically recommend people buy singles. But if you're gonna crack packs, like, I still think that this is a pretty good opening experience, right?
Yeah.
And then if they see it, a lot of times they just feel like a dick because they're just like, oh, well, you know what? It is what it is, right?
The funny thing was with that comment, I was like, I agree. This is just a piece of cardboard with ink that people put more value. Like the Darth Vader card costs just as much to print as the most common card in the game. But I was like, it's the fun of the game. It's the fun of the community I got to message my friends being like, I pulled my second Darth Vader from a pack, right? That isn't, it isn't the actual piece of cardboard I care about. It's once again, it's the community interactions that I really value.
Yeah, no, I think you're spot on there. I mean, the people that just want to post those comments are just like, you just don't get it sometimes. Like some people just like opening packs, and they're what's keeping the lights on. If you don't like opening packs, the people that do are the ones keeping the game available to you. So, and that's the thing. I also agree. Like if anybody comes to me and says, hey, what should I do? I'm a new player. I go buy singles, find a cheap deck.
Okay.
I usually recommend Jump to Lightspeed Vader because it's like $50. I say, buy this deck, buy singles. You get it for $50. You can see if you like the game.
Yeah.
That's what enough. I tell everybody.
Yeah. So moving on to the next thing we'll talk about. What is your most prized card? And it doesn't have to be like the most insane overpriced showcase, but if you just like the character, like it could be Luth and Rail. But what is your prized card?
Okay. So this is what I got the props for.
Ooh. Okay.
So a really good friend of mine went to Star Wars Celebration.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was there this year, yeah.
And I'll send you a picture if you wanted to put it up or anything. But I have 3 cards that I have to choose through, and hopefully they come through. So the first one.
Oh, nice. No, I can see.
Let me see if I can get.
Oh, is that by Tem? That's insane.
Yeah, so I've got Tamora Morrison, Jump to Lightspeed, Boba.
Man.
I have a Diego Luna, Cassian Andor.
Wow.
And I have a Set 1 Boba, Tamora Morrison signed card, right?
Yep.
So those are my prize cards that I will never ever get rid of because they're autographed and they're just cool. Yeah. And I have a picture that my buddy sent me of Tamora Morrison holding the cards after he signed them in like a Hawaiian shirt.
Man,
and
that's awesome.
Those are just cool. Yeah, because like even if they're not good leaders, like Cassian's not that great of a leader.
Yeah,
I was like, I love Diego Luna. If I could ever get Skarsgård to sign the new Luthen leader that was just spoiled today.
Yeah.
That would be crazy.
Okay, there you go. Breaking news on the podcast. It'll be a day old when it comes out. But because Cameron Monaghan, who plays Cal Kestis, he's coming to Australia in November. And I'm like, do I buy the showcase just to get him to sign? The only thing is the art on the flip side isn't the greatest. That's the only reason I'm thinking maybe not. But I was thinking, imagine coming to your casual local game, you pull out the showcase leader autographed by the actor. But it's like the worst deck built around it. But it has been tempting. I thought I was original thinking that. Clearly, so many people have thought of that. John Boyega is also coming to Australia. And I was like, do I maybe get him to sign that card? And I think Tem would be a great one because Boba Fett, you can probably still play the card from what I can tell. So, yeah, that's a great answer. And I went to Celebration. I was surprised. I know you probably know this. Star Wars fans plus rare item is like it'll 10 times in value, whatever. I'm surprised at Star Wars Celebration they didn't have any exclusives for Unlimited. I thought they
Yeah.
would have had a booth of like a promo pack, but it's Japan promo pack.
Yeah. They said that. So they were asked before Star Wars Celebration if they were going. They said no, they couldn't get in. So I'm wondering if it's because when Star Wars Celebration happened, they were less than a year old, I think, at that point.
Right.
And maybe they didn't have like the plan, like you had to plan so far in advance, and by the time they thought about it, they couldn't. So I'm hoping they have it for this year. But it would have been really cool if you could have got like Japanese themed or soccer, like the cherry blossom stuff. Like, it would have been cool to have some kind of promo.
Yeah. And I said it would have been great. This is like pretending it could have worked, but if they had it, because Legends of the Force, from what I can tell, has been the most popular set. I think it's gotten me into the game because Force users, they're the cool part of Star Wars. I think if they'd released Legends of the Force at the time of Celebration, you'd have had all these Star Wars nerds walking around Celebration saying, oh, what's this Star Wars game? And I think that would have injected a lot of life into the game. And then once again, if you're like, line up for 3 hours and you'll get 3 promo cards, people would do it. And especially at the time, they could have done like in the Japanese art style, they had it was like an Obi-Wan and Anakin art style, or an Andor one that was like Japanese style, and that you can just have it be the Andor card is the exact same abilities as the game, like they do with any like judge or champion card. It's just a different art style and maybe text. So I think that was maybe a missed opportunity looking back. Yeah,
I agree. I think those cards would be extremely valuable right now if you could get those type of arts. Especially if they put it on like a stronger unit, and if they put it on like a leader that can be protected more.
Yeah,
I think it would be. I think you're right. I would have loved to have that.
Yeah.
Especially for the game, because I think a lot of people would get into it just by seeing.
Oh, definitely.
The booth.
Yes, I think it was. But obviously the scalping would be insane, because I know the hot toys that were exclusive, they were like $500 Australian. Now they're online for $1,500. I couldn't imagine what the unlimited cards would have gone for if they had done that. Obviously, it would have been cool, but maybe another time. But I think that would be a great way to promote the game to people who aren't into TCGs, but obviously love Star Wars. That'd be a great gateway for them. So, what do you think is the most underrated card in Star Wars? Star Wars Unlimited, sorry, because this could be a hot take. I'm not too sure.
Most underrated card. So I was thinking about this, and I'm gonna try and give you. I'll give you a base, a leader, and a normal card.
Okay.
So when we're talking about leaders, I think for me the one is Third Sister. I think giving any card hidden for free is just like, it is too good to be bad, and I feel like people are too scared of her stats to really look at like why is this bad.
Yeah.
We've started to see her pick up steam, and I think now that Force Throw is banned, I think she's going to just get better.
Okay.
Base, I think, is Nabat Village. So my claim to fame in Star Wars Limited is my base math video. And in that base math video, I basically showed why Nabat Village is actually insane, and why every yellow deck should almost be running it. And it's yet to really catch on. It's also like you see it here and there, but Nabat Village definitely needs to be, I think, played a lot more. And then card wise, there's one card that I think is kind of insane that nobody's looking at, and that is Techno Union Transport. It's a yellow villain transport card from Jump to Lightspeed. It's a 4/6 shielded space unit.
Okay.
For 5. And the reason why it's a big deal is because it dodges all the removal in the game, except for like the direct hit, which nobody runs, and then like obviously Vanquish and stuff.
Yeah.
So like if people are running Fell the Dragon or Takedown, it dodges both of those. It's also in space, and it's shielded.
Interesting.
So like in a lot of pilot strategy decks that are in yellow, I think should run it, because a lot of times you can slam it down, pilot it, and now you're like, oh my god, what am I gonna do with this thing? It's insane. It's a card I try and throw in a lot to all of my decks, and it usually feels pretty good most times that I can get it off.
Yeah. I think for me, one of my underrated cards, keep in mind, I have no idea of the meta. I try to not stay out of the meta, but I like to just play for fun and a bit of casual. So I see like, Han Blue as the meta, and you do Grogu Tomb. I'm just like, I just want to have fun. But from what I can tell, an underrated card, because I was playing my first tournament, it was like my first event I'd ever played. And this one guy, he was really good, but I pulled out this one card and I saw his face drop. And it was, I don't know if it'll show up, the Nameless Terror.
Yeah.
because people, they build especially with Legends of the Force, they build a Force deck. You bring this card out, that deck crumbles. Like, as in, like, it's built around using the Force and using the abilities. This is an insane card. So I have it on my sideboard if I know my opponent's running a Force deck. And that's a card I feel like is maybe underrated. I don't know if that's because I'm new, I think it is. But look, it's for 3 cost a 3/3. But if you get to effectively stop your opponent from using the Force, it can undermine and just, it's a lot of disruption, I guess.
Well, it's a when played they lose the Force, right? Is that what it is?
When played, you exhaust a Force unit, and then on attack, your enemy just loses the Force trait for the phase.
Yeah, so like to me, I've actually looked at that card a lot. I just haven't really played that much blue villain. Well, actually, that's not true. I play a lot of Thrawn, but I've looked at that card a lot because I'm sitting here going, wow, on turn 2, if I play this card and I exhaust them, now they're off the Force. They don't ever grab the Force token. On the next turn, when I attack with it, it turns off all their Force traits. So it turns off, they can't get the Force that turn. They can't play Force Throw that turn. And they can't do Force Lightning. So a lot of times that's extremely powerful.
Yeah.
For a lot of the decks before Force Throw was banned. And I feel like if you ran that, you drop it, you attack, and then your opponent goes, okay, Force Throw. And you're just like, okay, well, I'm going to discard a card and it doesn't do damage. They're like, oh, well, that's not as good anymore.
Yeah. So I feel like I'm still learning a lot of cards. Like when I'm playing, I'm discovering a lot of new cards. That's been really fun. On the theme of cards, do you have like a guilty pleasure card? One that you know isn't good, but you love playing it? Like you put it down, you're like, hell yeah.
Depends on who you talk to, because I think all my cards are just good. But there's a lot of times where people go, Mo, just take that out of your deck, buddy. Like it's not that good. And the card that I would say the most is like that for me right now is Shuttle ST149, which is the 4-cost 3/4 shielded unit. When played and when defeated, you get to take a shielder experience token and move it. So you can, like, if your opponent plays a Secretive Sage turn 1, if you play this card, you can steal their shield and put it on one of your own unit.
Oh, interesting.
So I play that a lot, mainly because I'm playing a lot of Thrawn and a lot of Gar Saxon lately. And in both of those decks, it's really strong.
Yeah.
But it also just feels good, because if people are going to start playing like Rey and Obi-Wan, you're like, okay, well, I'm going to play this card, and now not only do I take an experience from you, I get to put it on something that is the most effective for me.
Yeah.
Nobody plays it outside of like Gar Saxon, but it feels like just really good whenever I get it off.
Yeah. Yeah, I watched, I think it was one of your Gar Saxon videos. I watched someone with the Gar Saxon deck, and it looks actually pretty good. I'd never, because I like leaders that you do actions and you feel like you're playing them and all that, but it was pretty good just passively getting that extra experience. And it was with something Husky. It was a blue villainy, and whenever you defeat a unit, you get an experience token you can give to anyone. And it was a really good like example of stacking units with upgrades and all that. So I think for myself, maybe I need to be a bit more willing to try new decks, because I kind of just I've built my first ever deck in a trading card game ever, and I'm kind of latched onto it now. I don't really want to deviate from it, but maybe I should try something new.
What's the deck?
It is Snoke with the Night Sister Leia blue deck. So the whole point of it, and I've been told this isn't the best way of doing it, but I'm like, I don't care, it's fun. Obviously, Snoke, you can really ramp him up a lot with his experience token. So but when he attacks, I only learned this the other week, before he attacks, he gets the experience token, if he's the one that gets it.
Right.
And if you put a Sentinel next to him, they're going to have a tougher time trying to blow him up. And what happened, I think last week, I got 5 or 6 experience tokens on him because I pulled 3 Neiman strikes. And with a Neiman strike, you get to attack with an exhausted unit, and the +1 damage doesn't do much for him when he has 5 tokens and he does 9 damage, but it just means he gets another experience token. So when the next phase started, he did 8 or 9 damage to the base on his second phase out. And it's not the easiest to pull off, and as soon as someone discovers what you're doing, they probably just go for your glass cannon. But the whole deck is around getting Snoke out and ramping him. And that's why I've recently asked some people for Dogfight, which is just Demon Strike, but for any unit. And then there's, I think I was asking just for some Pike Sentinels, because I want some low-cost Sentinels, and Chirrut has been great. You have Chirrut plus some bolstered endurance. You can't get rid of him unless you have like a Vanquish ability effectively. But yeah, Snoke is one I know maybe he isn't meta and maybe he isn't the best play because people can play around it. But I have so much fun. Like when my opponent sees me pulling out my second Neiman Strike in the phase and Snoke has 4 experience tokens the first or second round he's out. That's where I'm having the fun. He's just doing massive swings. So it's been a fun deck to build.
I think Snoke is another one of those underrated leaders because if you look at like villain cards, there's a lot of villain cards out there, and we're always going to be getting more villain cards.
Yeah.
So whenever we see new villain like 1-cost villain cards, I go, this kind of looks like it's gonna be good in Snoke. I'm just saying, like the more of those you get, the more you're like, because I built a Snoke deck in red.
Okay,
and the Guavin Enforcer, which is like a 2/3 with a bounty for 1, because you can play it and you can get a 3/4 on turn 1, and you're like, this kind of feels pretty dirty.
Yeah, it doesn't feel
3/4
right.
on turn 1.
My only issue with him is, and this goes for most leaders, I've learnt this game. It's my first TCG, so it's not like new, but someone else I spoke to, claiming the initiative is a really important call to make. Sometimes it's better to claim the initiative than to attack with a unit. And with Snoke, because you have to use an action to upgrade a unit effectively and pay a resource, sometimes, especially in the first round, you might give up getting the initiative for the second phase, which obviously early game, it's probably better to have. And I know it normally is, but I feel like early game, maybe it's better to have initiative so you can really dictate the pace of the game. So it's when you put your 1-cost, like the Starforged fighter, whether that's worth upgrading or just claiming initiative. And that's why I like the strategy in the game, because there have been times my opponent has done well. I still have 2 units up that can attack, but I'd rather claim initiative just so they can't claim. And that's an interesting bit of, because I've heard with Magic, it's just you kind of take turns in a circle and you go around. And something else interesting is that apparently in Magic, I will do everything and then it's your turn. Whereas in this one, it's always like a back and forth. And that's a big thing I've learned with building my own deck. And when speaking to people, I'll be like, oh, I get Snoke, I do this, and then I do this, and I forget I have an opponent in the game that also gets to take actions and can disrupt that plan at any time. And then I'm just going to sit back and be like, wow, your Snoke has 10 experience tokens on him. I'm not going to do anything about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's actually good. You kind of, so at my last PQ that I was just playing, I was playing Garcex in yellow, and I had like a knockout blowout game with a Kaz blue where he had like a 10 attack Millennium Falcon, and we were going into turn 3. So we were going into the 5 resource turn. So it's 4 resources, and I had him at basically I attack with 2 of my units and he loses. And he was looking at me. I had 4 resources up. So it's like it's like that early on in the game. And he looks at me, he plays a card after I attack. I do the math. I go, okay, well, if I attack twice, he loses, and he literally can't kill me unless he has initiative. So I was just like, I'm going to claim. And he looks at me and he goes, you're claiming with all your resources up? And I was like, yeah, and so I attack, and he looks at me and he goes, did I just mess up by playing a card? It was like, because I was looking at the board and I'm like, well, wait, if I claim, I attack with this. Yeah, he gets to swing for at most 13, but I have at least 15 health on my base. There's no way he can kill me in 1 action.
Yeah.
I'm going to claim and win.
Yeah.
So like those are a lot of things that you can see a lot of like new players like kind of messing up. They're like, okay, well I'm gonna play a token, or I'm gonna play a 2-cost unit.
Yep.
And when it's like, oh wait, if I claimed, I could have just attacked with like a 6 attack thing before they even had a chance to do anything.
Yeah.
So that's like the biggest learning curve in this game.
Okay. Yeah. And something else quickly when we're talking about my deck, one of my favorite combos is, and that's what I'm trying to get. There's a card that it's like a green 1-cost. Right, let me find the name of it quickly. I have it in my notes page because I was asking someone for it. Timely Intervention.
Yep.
I have 2 Vaders in my deck, and Timely Intervention on Vader is pretty feral because I saw there's ECL, and I was like, oh, maybe I could run ECL, but I do like Snoke, but giving Vader ambush is insane, especially someone just gets the leader out. It's like Obi-Wan. They're going to start stacking him. You put Vader down. You do the Timely Intervention, and then you Vader, and you see the look on their face. You're like, oh my God, I've been waiting all game to get my leader out, and they've just taken them out. And that was another interaction I was trying to make work. This is when I had to let go of, I want to do something, but my opponent has turns. It was the Priestesses of the Force. They give, I think, 5 unit shield tokens. So I thought, give your opponent every shield token ever. You pull out a Vader, but they're a 7 resource, and Vader would have to attack 5 times. So it's a bit. I think it's a fun idea, but that was when I was like, okay, I might get rid of them out of my deck now.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will just say, like, I've lost a game on camera, basically due to a time lead Vader, and it just does not feel good because you're like, well, I was winning, but this one card killed 2 of my cards.
Yeah, and it's something I think it's tough because I know this is the nature of a TCG, but having objectively really good cards that are rare or expensive, there is a paywall for new players. Obviously, if you're doing your PQs and if you're in Galactic and all that, you're willing to spend hundreds of dollars. But if I'm just starting and maybe I don't have the best local community, for example, and people are just pulling out, Vaders with Ambush, I feel like I have to spend, I think it's on the TCG converter, I think it's currently like $32 or $40 Vader right now. American, I think that is. And if you want to build a deck around that, it's not that affordable, but then you can't maybe play without that. So I think it's an interesting relationship. I think it's every TCG has this problem of you want new people to play. And this is something you talked about with I Open TCGs is how do you keep the value for the collectors? And obviously the game has value, but you don't want to box people out, especially new people from playing the game.
It's a really tough question, and I don't think I'm actually smart enough to actually give an answer, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
Please.
So I feel like the real value here and what we've seen, and I can give a little bit of history because I started from set 1.
Yeah.
The showcases for set 1 and set 2 and set 3, if you look at them, are actually still expensive. Relatively expensive. And the legendaries kind of are okay price-wise, but they're like just expensive enough, right? Where they feel like, okay, I opened a single pack, I got a $10 card, like it makes me feel good. But the showcases are like the real chase cards, right? So like a set 1 Boba Fett, I think is still the most expensive showcase in the game.
Yep.
Maybe it's Darth Revan, which is another like a side thing, but like showcases from set 1, 2, and 3, we didn't have carbonite packs. So if you wanted to, so if you wanted to get a showcase from those sets, you had to open on average, I think it was $1,200, right? 12 boxes of cards, $1,200 worth of product, American, right?
Yeah.
To get to on average to get a single showcase, which is also a 1 in 18 chance. So if you do all the math, right, it's really expensive to get the showcase you want.
Yeah.
Now, you can get it in $600, right? On average, every other carbonite box has a showcase in it. So it's actually half the price to get a showcase now.
Right.
Just on
yeah.
And so showcase prices, just for the sake of having carbonite boxes, have dropped substantially. And I think that's kind of sad because now you can literally get a showcase that's $20, and a legendary Anakin is worth more than a Rio Durant showcase.
Yeah.
Right? So that's a little bit sad in my eyes because I'm like, man, showcases should always be like cool to hit. And I feel like the other problem is serialized cards to me don't hit the mark as they should because I know personally for me, and I mean, I'll ask you, if you opened a carbonite box and you got a serialized card, would you play it?
No.
Like, and that's the problem. I think the game is very much a play first game, not a collector's game. So like cards like serialized cards just aren't gonna be used. Whereas like the Galactic Championship art cards, I don't know if you've seen any of those.
I have,
but I play those arts in all my decks, and they are just so sick. So I think upgrading the art and possibly giving. So my suggestion was, you make like a showcase plus. So you pick a leader or like 4 leaders that represent the set, like the best.
Yeah.
So like for me, for this upcoming set, for secrets, I would pick like Luthen. I'd be like Luthen, Cassian Andor, whoever else is on like the villain side, right?
Yep.
I would say like pick those guys and do a like showcase plus tier,
Yep.
or do something like get an artist to sign the cards, and like
Yes.
give or not the artist, but like the cool thing about Star Wars is have actors. Like
Yeah.
give Mark Hamill 500 cards,
Mm-hmm.
500 showcases, have him sign it,
Mm-hmm.
put him in a carbonite box.
Yeah.
Because then
That'd be mental.
like
Yeah.
you can get Mark,
Insane.
yeah. And it's a collector's item, right? Like I feel like my signed cards
Mm-hmm.
are actually worth a lot of money because they are a signed object, right?
Yes. Yep.
I'm not selling them, but like I
Mm.
feel like having an autographed card from an actor like
Mhm.
a Diego Luna or Skarsgård on a real
Yep.
physical card that you can pull from a pack is going to be worth a lot of money. And in fact, that's what Riftbound is doing. So I don't want to get too off into it, but Riftbound has like a showcase plus tier.
Yep.
And it's the artist signature.
Yep.
And so I feel like it seems like it's getting a lot of steam.
Yep.
So I could see them do something like that in Star Wars and it be really, really valuable. I don't know if
Definitely.
I answered your question. I ramble a lot. I apologize.
Please. No, but that's why I want to hear the tangents because obviously there's stuff I don't know I should be asking. So I want to hear that stuff. But I think definitely because I know the, I think just trading card scene, like not game, but just like baseball cards and all that. There's the Star Wars like Topps cards. And yeah, they have actors sign it. So they do the same just for the normal cards. But then I feel like the issue once again is Star Wars would say, oh, it's making money. Let's do a lot of them. And then you've got the same problem with like the showcase cards, and the showcase cards go down a tier and then it keeps going down. Yeah. But I think it's interesting you quickly mentioned, I think we're going to get into collecting later, but we'll do it now.
Yeah.
Revan, for example, is a great example. I've heard, once again, I don't know too much about the meta, but I've heard he's not a great leader. From what I can tell, he's just a single aspect. So that inherently has some disadvantages. But I think you were saying he has one of the highest showcase sell values.
He does. So, this goes back to the whole video game thing, right? So, Revan, for those who don't know, is from a really, really old, probably the most famous. Would you say like maybe the most or second most famous video game from Star Wars media?
Probably Battlefront 2, like the 2005 Battlefront 2. But if you're talking about like a story game, people talk about KOTOR 1 and 2 a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, as soon as I said most famous, I'm like, no, Battlefront 2 definitely has that.
I would say the best story is KOTOR, definitely. I would agree with you on that. Yeah.
I agree. And so, without any spoilers, Revan is a big part of that game.
Yes.
And a lot of people love Revan, myself included.
Same.
And what's funny is, I thought Revan was going to be a terrible showcase collector-wise because, as you said, he's really, really bad in the competitive scene, and this game is really competitively driven. Okay. So I was like, okay, I want a Revan showcase, but I'll just buy one because like he's gonna be cheap. He's now the second or third most expensive showcase. I actually did pull one.
Wow.
And yeah, I got lucky.
Jeez.
But I pulled one. Yeah. And it's like I looked up the price and I'm like, wow, $250 for this showcase. Because it breaks everything, every pattern that I was like researching for my video with iOpenTCGs was like, okay, well, Carbonite boxes have made showcases go way down in value unless they're really, really powerful. So, like, Jump to Lightspeed Vader is, like, out of the new cycle where we have Carbonites, Jump to Lightspeed Vader is the most expensive because he's extremely playable and he's Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Darth Revan is not playable, but he's Darth Revan. So, like, if Darth Revan was a strong leader, I think that showcase would be $500 or $600.
Okay.
And it surprises me that he is expensive being bad, which goes to show you that I think art is really like having great art on iconic characters is really what this game needs. So collector wise, I think that's what you need to do. But Darth Revan's also, it was the one showcase I wanted, and I got bullied into buying a Carbonite box, and I pulled one from it.
That's
and
insane,
I was just freaking out. I did it at a pre-release, and I was like, I was freaking out when I got it.
Jeez.
It was awesome.
Yeah, I think I'm surprised. I know Vader's already been a leader in like every set ever, but I was surprised Legends of the Force I don't know if there was an Anakin one, but I feel like Vader definitely should have had one. If you ever showcase Vader, and once again, I assume they would make sure Vader's a good competitive character. I couldn't imagine how much that card would have gone for. Because we did get our Twilight of the Apprentice Vader in this set, but I probably would have liked also if it would have been a blue-black Vader leader, because then it's like, oh, I have my Darth Vader deck who's so cool. And then if you made him a showcase, you could just imagine how much that would have been.
Well, I just don't get why, like, well, I do get it, right? Mother Talzin is a blue-black leader, but like, and Mother Talzin's cool, so forever watches this, like, sure, don't crucify me, but like, she's not Darth Vader.
Yeah.
And like, could you imagine if, because Galactics, right? Mother Talzin won Galactics. Yes. Imagine, like, I get she's cool, but imagine if it was Darth Vader versus Kylo Ren, right? Like, imagine if it was that.
I think, it was your video saying that. And I remember hearing, I was like, the finals was Kylo versus Talzin. And you said, Talzin's cool, but if it was Vader versus Luke or Vader Palpatine, that would get casual people into the game being like, oh, wow, these, like, I think it was you that said it, that the characters we like should be powerful in this game. And I'm a little bit... Return of the Jedi Luke is my favorite Star Wars character. And I know he was in Spark of Rebellion, and he was meant to be one of the more powerful cards in that deck. But I'm surprised we didn't get a Legends of the Force Return of the Jedi Luke, or that, I don't know if you know the recent Battlefront 2017, he was in that game as well, and that was like the wise Luke. So I'm surprised we didn't get any Luke cards, or even like a Force Awakens style Luke. I'm surprised they kind of, because Luke is like the main character of Star Wars when we're introducing, he's the Force and all that. So I'm surprised. Like, I do like the Luke we got where he gets an experience token if you use the Force every time you play a unique unit. That thematically makes sense, but either a leader or a unit, I was surprised we didn't see that. And like you were saying, if someone won the Star Wars Unlimited tournament with Luke or Vader, you'd be like, whoa, this is awesome, you know?
Well, this was I don't know if I ever said this in a video, but it amazes me that when you look at Legends of the Force, right? A title, Legends of the Force, the only Luke unit in the whole set was the Luke unit before he learned the Force. Like, he's got a blaster in his art. He's on, like, it's before he learned the Force. How are you doing Legends of the Force with the most famous Force user? Like you said, he's not a leader. Yeah. And the unit we have is free Force adept Luke. Like, it actually can, like, I was certain we were going to get a Force Luke, like another Vigilance Luke somewhere. Yeah. And I just I couldn't believe that we didn't get one. It was wild to me.
I think Vader's Trial of the Apprentice Vader is a good example of, it's a cool version of Vader from Rebels. He's Vader, so he's cool. And he's a good card as well. And that's an example where players want to play him. Star Wars Unlimited makes a lot of money off that card. And I think that's a good example of, I think, from what I can tell, they've done everything right with that card in terms of art, style, stats, and abilities. I'm not sure. I'm interested in what you think with his whole defeat a unit with a shield. Because one thing I really appreciate about Unlimited is I feel like every ability in the game feels thematic. Like, it makes sense why certain characters have hidden or ambush, because that's what their character would do. But do you know why Vader has this defeat a unit with a shield? Is it meant to be like this character's protected, but Vader still kills them anyway? Like, yeah.
That's how so I think basically in the TCG space, right? Like, each color pie needs its own identity. And so Vigilance is very much, well, blue-black, right? Vigilance villain is very much shields and I'm going to defeat something. So they needed that aspect to it. Yeah. And I think you're spot on with it. I think Vader's is like, you can think you're prepared all you want, but Vader doesn't care. Vader's going to knock you down no matter what, right? Yeah. And the fact that, like, it's also, if Vader ambushes, he takes out 2 units, right? Because Vader's just a walking army. Like, he doesn't matter how many people stand in his way. He's just gonna.
Okay. Yeah.
So I think you're spot on with that. Like, I think it was just, you could think you're protected, but Vader doesn't care.
Yeah. Yeah. And I liked with, I think, Maul's leader ability. You do 1 damage to unit, 1 to another. That's another great example of, like, thematic abilities. And I think that's, as a Star Wars fan, that's what I appreciate in the game, is being like, oh, I see how this works with the character. Obviously, some leaders, maybe, like, I'm trying to figure out how Qui-Gon's bounce a card to hand and play lower on plays in with his character. I get sometimes it's like a card game where they just have to have certain abilities in the game. But I really appreciate when I see a card that has, like, there was one, it's not Grievous. It was some, like, evil character and they had exploit. And I was like, that makes sense. They would kill their own units. Yeah, Dooku. Yeah, he'd kill his own units to get into the front line.
Yeah.
And that's why I love it, because I'm like, I can see the characters doing, because one of my favorite things, I think people at my place call it, just like in the movies, it's where you give like episode 1 Anakin Yoda's lightsaber. And as a Star Wars fan, like, this is hilarious what's happening right now in the game. So I really appreciate when the game does lean into the more lore thematic aspects of it. So I hope we see more of that in the future, definitely.
Yeah, well, I mean, just say, because the Luthen leader that was spoiled today. So I guess you were probably asleep, right? In a being like 14-hour time difference.
I'll quickly Google it. Yeah.
So his leader ability is like when your unit attacks and dies, deal 1 damage to a unit or base. So it's like he's using his own units dying to like gain advantage, which is exactly what Luthen would do, right?
Yes.
So I'm like, oh yeah, this is great. I think this thematically is awesome.
Hi, Will from the edit here. It looks like today's conversation went a little bit longer than expected, so stay tuned for next week's episode where we continue this great conversation. Thank you for listening to this week's episode of Cast of the Whills. You can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Instagram, and TikTok, and if you follow us on any of those platforms, you're officially a guardian of the Whills. Till then, may the podcast be with you. Bye.